journey down the paths mosaic.
Players, hi, howdy, how's it going?
Good.
Great. Hi.
All right, welcome everyone to the usual NPCs Halloween special, The Tale of the Dismembered God. We have a new group here today, so I think firstly, foremostly, some introductions are in order. Asia, please start us off with your name, your character's name, and how you died.
Well, my name is Asia, and I'm playing Audrey Sable, and she was a librarian, and she died when the library burned down.
Gotcha. How about you, Ben?
My character's name is Gunvald, and he died on the front lines up in the fort trying to defend the back line in a 1v1 in a fight that he definitely could not take.
Very understandable. Jaime, how about you?
I'm playing Kalwa, and they died when they slipped into a tar pit and got sucked in.
Happens to us all the time. Every day for me.
Mm-hmm.
So Sarah, how about you?
I'm playing Nixara Thicket, Nix for short. I'm an anthropomorphic rabbit. And I don't remember, I just remember a giant foot. And now I'm here.
Very good, very good. So, today, we will all be proceeding to take a look at what happens after death here in the world of Midland, in the world of the usual NPCs. Are we all ready for this wonderful wonderful exploration of what happens after we all pass on to the next world?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Very curious.
Good. So I'll start with, it's not great. So, you've all been told in the past of the stories of the afterlife in Dowdheim. This is a place completely frozen over, partially another realm, semi-connected to the main world itself. It is a hellscape devoid of life, where the souls passed on walk eternally. It is uncomfortable, it is miserable, and in the last 1,000 years, all the Draugr, the undead that have been coming from the north, it's where they come from. And, well, if the state that they're in tells you anything, this is a pretty unpleasant place. When you wake up, you can barely see much of anything around you. The first sensation you feel is the cold, the biting cold. It seems to lock your joints in place, freeze the blood in your muscles. In fact, you feel a cold stillness throughout your entire body. What was happening mere moments ago and what is happening now feel so deeply disconnected that it's almost confusing, almost upsetting. As you begin to open your eyes that feel like they're crusted shut, you're noticing that at first you can't see anything. You can't tell if all of your vision is completely blacked out or completely whited out. Either way, you're taking a moment as your eyes adjust, and you're realizing that this blanket of covered vision is the snowstorm raging around you. Even though snow is falling so densely, so heavily, and you can hear the wind howling through the air, and you can definitely feel its chill, there's not much else going on. And you look around and see 3 other people nearby you. So what are we seeing as we look to each other? Asia, get us started.
Audrey is a black cat tabaxi, and she's dressed a little bit like, she has glasses. She's very lithe, but she has glasses. She's dressed like maybe like some sort of old school paper boy. She's got like a vest and like some pants that don't quite reach her paws.
Cool. And Ben?
You see a scrawny, pretty much boy in just full like Norse armor with like the a lot of fur pleated to keep warm, but just battered and black hair. Is just very scrawny, like almost brings up vibes of a little short to be a Norse warrior, but yeah.
Cool. Jaime?
A very pale, bluish, almost purplish skinned, like elven-looking person. Not an elf, but with just sort of very fine features. With a shock of like white hair that's braided coming down the front. And like it looks like somebody punched me in the face, my eyes, because it's got these big, like deep set, like bags under my eyes.
And then Sarah?
So Nyx is small. Think like cottontail rabbit size, woodland rabbit size. Steel gray fur, with like the sticky up ears. White front toes are white. Little tiny backpack, with all of her little tiny things.
Alrighty, so the three of you and our well-adorned rabbit friend are just getting your eyes to adjust, and slowly you can see 10 feet, 15 feet, 20 feet out from you until it's deeply obscured, but seeing a good bit out beyond that. As you hear a voice to all of you, a very feminine voice. It says to you, "Look forward and find your guide. He will be your way out from this afterlife." And can I get perception checks from everyone?
Oh.
Wow. Okay.
First roll.
Oh,
19.
19.
I have
I got a nat 20 plus 0.
Natural
You guys are
16 for
wasting
me,
these.
plus 5. So
Whoa.
21.
21.
Sarah,
So I have a
22.
nat 1.
What a beautiful spectrum we are.
You say perception? What did you say?
Yeah, perception.
So plus 5, so 6.
Wow. All right, cool. So,
I have
between
big
our
eyes.
6...
Big eyes.
Between our 6, our 19, 20, and 21, all but Nixara notice a little ways in front of you, probably 20, 30 feet away from you, you see the back of a torso, seemingly almost floating in the air. As your eyes adjust and begin to focus on this torso, you notice that it has what seems to be almost spectral arms and legs, very translucent, hard to see at all, but noticeably there. It makes a silhouette. The skin of the torso itself is old and decayed and gnarled. It's not the kind of decay that normally occurs when you bury something in the ground or anything like that. It is a very cold decay where none of the maggots, molds, things like that would normally grow would be allowed to grow. So it just turns into this very desaturated, grayish black, tight to the bone flesh. And like I said, no limbs, no sign of a head, and it's just kind of, air quotes with the spectral limbs, standing there, about, like I said, 20, 30 feet away.
Kawa's gonna immediately look down and be like, "Am I spectral too?"
Looking down, you can see that all of your bodies seem to be fully intact. You're starting to notice the color go from your skin, likely from the cold, or perchance because, as some of you are starting to put together, you are dead and in Dapheim.
Oh, God.
So the stories are true.
What have you heard?
This is the land of death. A small smile, like, appears on Kalva's face. Perhaps an inappropriate level of excitement at this opportunity.
The
Notice
light
a little bit.
mirth in their face is a little unsettling.
At the same time, you'll notice a little bit of like disbelief on Gunvald's face.
Have I figured this out or not? Because I'm not seeing
So-
what they're seeing.
They're all looking forward. You're still having trouble being this low down, seeing over the hills of snow and things like that. But after a little while of them all being pretty clearly focused on the torso a bit a ways, you, even with your 6, manage to kind of follow and triangulate their lines of sight and go, oh, that thing over there.
Yeah, I've hopped through the dunes of snow, which is hilarious but not helpful.
Excuse me, are you all seeing that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, does anyone know what it is?
Well, there's only one way to find out. And Gunvald's just going to start walking over there.
Oh, God.
Cool. Would you like to make any checks or anything as you're walking over, or are you just going straight for it? What happens, happens.
Just going straight for it.
All right.
Is that wise?
You hear from the small rabbit on the snow behind you.
Wait a minute. There's a rabbit here, and it's talking.
Yes I am. Have you never seen a talking rabbit before?
I mean,
No,
it's
I
not
don't.
that hard to believe.
No.
I'm a talking cat.
I'm just nakeder.
Is this going to be a problem for the cat?
I'm all right.
Okay.
Well,
I'm going to follow Gunvald.
You are trudging through the snow. You're noticing that the snow is in some places up to your ankles, in some places up to your knees. As you're trudging through, as soon as you start getting within about 5-ish feet away from the torso, it begins walking forward.
Oh,
So just to be clear, this thing has like a solid torso and spectral limbs, right?
That is correct, yes. No head whatsoever, spectral limbs, solid torso.
is it moving the snow as it's walking forward with like the spectral limbs and everything, or is it just like
The
passing
spectral
through?
limbs seem to not be interacting with the physical snow around it at all.
Does it look threatening?
Can you give me an insight check, or perception, or whatever makes you happy?
I'll do insight. Wait, it says I have advantage on insight. 17.
Awesome. So with a 17, it almost doesn't even seem to acknowledge that you're there. It started walking when you got within a certain proximity of it, but it almost feels autonomous currently. You do notice as you are getting closer, have any of you gotten in front of it yet, or are you still behind it as it's walking forward?
I'm keeping at least one person between me and it.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it'd still be walking behind it. Probably would have slowed down as soon as it started moving.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty far back.
Cool.
So, Gunvald next would actually try to just like stop moving and see what it would do.
So once it gets about 15-ish feet away from you, it stops again.
I think it's trying to get us to follow it.
I mean, ain't that what the voice said?
Oh, you heard it too?
Oh, yeah.
Is it like, is the Is there sky?
You can't see through the snow enough to even be able to tell. You wouldn't know if it were day or night right now. It could be ambient light reflecting off the snow, illuminating the world around you, or a sun blotted out by the storm.
I'm gonna make
It's
a
honestly
snowball
impossible to
and throw it at this thing's leg.
tell. Okay. Give me a ranged attack roll.
Crit plus 23 total.
A snowball, you know when you get a snowball with just the perfect packing snow that you get into almost a flawless sphere? Get that and you whip it with incredible accuracy. Right at the back of the knee, so that if this thing were physical, you drop it down onto one knee, no problem. But it passes right through and digs itself a little bit into, the snowball digs itself a little bit into the snow in front of the torso.
Well, that answers that question. Shall we? I have I look very excited. My eyes are very this is fun.
So is that a snowball's chance in hell?
I think you could say that, couldn't you?
All right, so are we following then?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, I'm safer with you than on my own, so let's do it.
So you follow it for what feels like potentially a couple hours. Just trudging through this endless snow. Occasionally you're seeing stone pillars here and there, as though there were structures made of stone somewhere around here, but have since been destroyed, fallen apart, and buried feet under the snow. Then you start coming to what look to be the remnants of a stone tower, circular tower stretching upward, except that everything above the first 15-20 feet has been collapsed and buried long ago. As you start getting closer, you see that there is a very ornate wooden door on the front of this relatively large base of the tower. And as you approach, you see the corpse, the torso, stops about 10-ish feet away from the door, and one of its spectral arms lifts up and points at the door.
Well, I wouldn't want to keep it waiting.
You think we should knock first?
That's a good question. Does it look like anybody's home?
So, give me either perception or investigation.
Is that everybody?
Whoever wants to.
10.
7.
14 and 5. 19.
Very nice. Very nice.
17.
Nice. All right. So, I will say, Sarah, your character, as they're hopping around, notices that with your wonderful rabbit ears, you can ever so slightly hear through the winds of the snowstorm some very light moving around inside. It seems like there is something in there. But it's not making a lot of noise. It doesn't seem like it's throwing things around or doing anything in particular. It's some sort of soft noises as if they're working on something lightly squishy. Ben, your character, Gunvald, as you circle around, you start seeing little cracks in the stones here and there that you can just barely peer through on the walls. So as you're kind of trying to take a look and see within, it looks like there's a bunch of jars and things in the way at every crack you're finding. These jars seem to be filled with fluid and things floating in them, but you can't quite tell what they are from where you are. Asia, your character, she notices text inscribed in the stone above the door. The text reads, "I have seen you, and now we will all become you." And then lastly, Jaime, your character, they don't notice much of anything about the building as they're kind of looking around. They do notice the torso has one very distinct thing going. Its chest seems to be caved in and potentially an organ or two missing.
Is it still pointing?
Yes, it is still pointing.
I
I'm
know
gonna
is
It
walk
seems to be
past it.
almost frozen in place.
sorry.
Okay.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. No.
No, you were in the middle. I didn't realize. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm gonna walk past it toward the door, and I'm gonna try to give it a high five.
The spectral arm, just like the spectral leg, doesn't seem to have any mass to it at all.
But does it feel
And
like anything?
your hand slides by it as though there were nothing there.
I was hoping that it might feel a little tingly. Oh well.
Who knows? Maybe there was a slight chill in it, but it's impossible to tell in this environment.
Can I make a check if I know, like, when we go in here, what we're in for? Like,
Is there anything in particular you're trying to know, find out, feel for?
like if Audrey knows anything about Dowdheim and what the next step for dead people is.
Your best bet would be either a religion check or a history check.
Can do
Arcana would work too if you're feeling nasty.
8.
8.
My highest stat is +3. Like, where did you guys get your stats at?
They min-maxed. There's an art.
I didn't though.
So, Audrey, which check was that?
History.
History. So, with that, you're noticing... I'll give you two things. So, firstly, Dowdheim is said to be just a place of eternal suffering in the snow, in which the cold freezes you to the point of you going numb physically and mentally. It is assumed that anyone in Dowdheim for any even small length of time loses any sense of self, and their mind is gone to the blizzard. As well as, you do know that this building is in the architectural style of Sparrow's Rest. You spend enough time living there, you would recognize it.
Does it look exactly like any buildings I've seen? Like, even like a derelict version?
I will allow you to make an investigation check to find out.
9.
With a 9, no. It's vaguely something Sparrow's Rest, but unfortunately the number of large towers in Sparrow's Rest are significant, so it doesn't stand out as any particular one.
I'm gonna walk up to the door and I'm gonna say, "Do I knock?"
There is somebody in there, so tread carefully. But they don't seem angry. They're doing something. So, yeah, maybe knock.
Don't knock too harshly, though, too. There's got looks like some shelves that have precarious things pressed on them, so you don't want to break anything.
I knock carefully.
With your knock, you hear it, your fist tapping on the wood, and most of the noise is drowned out by the blizzard, but inside you hear a slight rustle, you hear things go silent for just a second, and then Nyx, you hear the noise resume as it was before.
Either they didn't hear you or they're ignoring us.
I try the handle.
Yeah, it's time to open the door.
Yep, it is unlocked, and it opens inward so the snow isn't getting in the way or anything.
Well, shall we? I open the door. Walk in.
Cool. You see a room probably circular, so probably about 40 feet in diameter. Along all of the walls around the room are various jars and large glass containers and things like that filled with various amniotic fluids and body parts and all sorts of other oddly macabre things. But it doesn't seem like it's a collection. It seems like it's all being studied. On the table in the center of the room, you see an arm. An old, withered, decayed, desiccated arm. And there seems to be some sort of magical circle around it. And then finally, on the wall opposite the door that you just opened and walked in, there is a loxodon, an elephant person, for those of you who aren't familiar. This loxodon, probably standing up, would be about 12-ish feet tall. And they are facing the wall, working on something on the table in front of them. You can't quite tell what from where you are.
Hello. Excuse me, mister.
You see the loxodon's large head turn, look slightly over the shoulder, and something immediately feels very off. As you see, just barely, instead of an eye looking over the shoulder at you, there's almost a ball, like a crystal ball of glass or ice, in place of an eye. And it turns back and goes back to its work.
So Nyx has been carefully studying the various jars, really curious about what is in them. A little not loving all of the pieces, but also fascinated and trying to gauge maybe what is being studied.
All right. You can give me Arcana or Medicine to try to find out what you're kind of looking at here.
Okay, I'll do Arcana. I got a 1. 6. I got a 6 total. I might.
Can I help?
Yeah, you can absolutely give the
Gunvald
help
would also
action.
be good.
So, yeah, Gunvald is going to give the help action, so Nyx, you can re-roll that.
Okay, great. Hold on. All right, that much better. I got an 18. So 18.
Perfect. 18
And then,
total?
18 and 5. So 23?
That is phenomenal. So with your 23 Arcana check, you start noticing some very specific intricacies about what you're looking at around you. A lot of these smaller jars are, of course, pieces, parts, organs, limbs of various creatures. There were clearly some of the mortal races as test subjects, most likely pulled from an already dead person, most likely. Arms and hands and fingers and things. And the smaller ones, jars from bears and dogs and things. But in the biggest jars, there are occasionally things, some you can recognize, some you can't, that seem to be attached together. One of the things that I will make especially significant from your Arcana check is the magical circle in the center of the room. Seems to be not necessarily a protective circle or anything like that. The one around the desiccated arm seems to be absorbing information like measurements and things like that, and then beaming them straight into the Loxodon's head. You can definitely tell that if you were to remove the arm, it would be very obvious. And there's also, here's one more thing I'll give you, sorry. Left side of the room, there's a locked chest. It stands out because most other things are more or less on display, if you will. That is the only thing that seems to be locked away.
So you said there's an arm in the magical circle in the center of the room. Did I get that?
Yes, correct. It is a right arm.
And you said in the biggest jars there are like limbs connected to each other, or just like items?
It varies. Some of them are organ systems interconnected. Some of them are pieces of different limbs made into larger limbs. Some of them are limbs attached to pieces of torsos, etc.
I think I say mostly quietly, but so at least whoever's closest to me can hear. I think we've come across a lab. Maybe that's obvious. These organs, these limbs, they're connected. Maybe he's, I don't know, trying to figure out where we are, what we're doing, how to create some kind of creature? I'm not sure, but this is weird.
Yeah, I'm starting to not like that we were led here. You don't think in a place like this there'd be too many places to get organs, unless they're freshly dead, which I mean, it seems like we are.
I mean, we have seen torsos with no heads, so maybe it's not that strange where we are.
You think we should talk to him?
Well, I don't know. This seems to be a lot of like automation with these things, with the torso and maybe the Loxodon too. We tried to talk to it before and it wouldn't. I guess I'll just try and actually just like, I've got a spear, I'm just gonna like tap on the Loxodon's like shoulder with it and see what happens.
So the Loxodon seems to be very intent on ignoring you at the moment, as it even tries to brush it away as you try to tap on it. It is being completely silent and just continuing to work on whatever it is that's on the table in front of it.
Can we see what he's working on?
Yeah, that's my
You
question
can absolutely,
too.
yeah, you can absolutely go around and look over him. From where you've been, his bulky form is pretty well obscuring it. But yeah, if you want to go over, I mean, he seems pretty intent on ignoring you, so it's probably safe too, yeah?
I'll follow you.
All right, so I'm gonna jump up on the table as softly as possible, and gingerly peek around, and just so I want to try and stay out of eyesight, even though I'm pretty sure he won't react.
Yeah, absolutely. You find a little location in some of the shelves and things that are around him, a little uncomfortably close to a jar with a couple eyes in it, but it's fine. You can brush that away for right now. It's interesting enough with what you're focusing on. And you can see what seems to be a medical dummy. The kind of thing that is used in a lot of medical practices in Sparrow's Rest, because it uses a magical system to basically act as a facsimile for a lot of real normal bodies. It seems to be about the size and proportion of a halfling, and you can see what the Loxodon is doing is the Loxodon has a left arm that is desiccated just like the right one on the table, that it seems to be trying to attach on to the halfling-sized medical dummy.
Well, that's odd. Do we think that medical dummy gonna come to life?
I've already seen one corpse, or at least a torso.
Can I do a quick peek at the one in the circle and do an Arcana check on it?
Yeah, absolutely.
17.
Ooh, so with a 17, here's what I'll give you, because we already know basically what the circle itself is doing from Nyx's check. So what you can see is you start noticing some very specific things. There is something about this arm. It seems to be the same gnarled, frozen, decaying flesh that the torso outside is made out of. It's very directly, which is odd because everything else in this room is incredibly well preserved. This is the only thing that seems in a level of decay, and even looking past the Loxodon, you see that the other arm is exactly the same way. And you even have a slight clever way you think you could butts with the circle a little bit to be able to remove the arm without the Loxodon noticing.
So I'm definitely going to do that.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to immediately start fucking around. What is this clever way that I've devised?
So you're noticing the rune patterns and things that are used. You know that there's a way that you could just fudge a couple of the runes, write down a new one in its place, to just start beaming false information into the Loxodon's head, so that removing the arm wouldn't stop the stream of measurements and diagnostics that the Loxodon is picking up. So immediately, you all see that Kalwa walks over to the table, takes a minute studying the circle, and then just starts smudging and
Lick my
moving
thumb.
around a few. Exactly. It doesn't take too long. It takes a couple minutes at most to get it reconfigured so that you can yoink the arm if you wanted to.
I yoink it. Does the Loxodon
immediately, as you're all there, very tentatively watching as things are going on, Cal would just arm up in hand.
Arm. I got it. It's right here. I'm just like holding it way too close to my face, examining it.
Well, what are you going to do with it now?
Yeah.
Does a Loxodon do anything?
No, the Loxodon is very well focused on his work and doesn't look over his shoulder to see what's going on. And your modification to the circle worked. You can actually feel the essence of that information still streaming just fine.
Can Audrey go look at it too?
Yeah, absolutely. What in particular are you trying to find out about it?
I just want to... What is it? Like, is it, do I know... Could I tell what species it might be? Or is it obvious that it's halfling because the other one... It's like, because the dummy is halfling.
That's what you want to... Yeah, go ahead and give me an investigation or medicine, whatever you prefer.
And also, like, how did it get like this? And, like, what is this spell he's doing? I don't like this dice.
Oh, no.
What did you say? Medicine or what?
Medicine or investigation.
Well,
or Arcana, if you want. I mean...
I would love to do Arcana. 12.
I'm not picky. Go ahead. 12. Okay, so with a 12, you can tell that this is the... arms are actually in the proportion of the relatively, I would say, human-sized, about 6 foot tall, if he had a head-ish, corpse outside. The arms are proportioned for that. So currently, the way the one is affixed to the halfling is it's way too long and lengthy and lanky. But clearly, the Loxodon is still very much working out just connecting tendons and things like that to get it to adhere on. So how the Loxodon obtained them is unclear. It doesn't seem like they were freshly removed or anything. I mean, nothing about this corpse seems fresh. This seems like something that died and started withering away out in the cold, out in the frozen wastelands. Not necessarily here, just kind of anything north of Tamning Norden, frankly. One of the other things you notice, and this isn't Arcana related, but I'll give it to you because we've already discovered a good bit about these limbs, is that the medical dummy seems to have drawn on its normally completely blank face. They basically have just a smoothed over patch of nothing on their face, has where its eyes would be hexagonal glasses kind of drawn in on it.
Oh,
got it.
You devious bastard.
I feel very important. Anyways. So
all right, so we've located 2 arms in this room.
Wait, so but they're from different bodies, right?
No, the 2 arms are very much from the same body.
Oh, I thought you were saying that one was longer than the other. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
No. One is longer than the halfling that it's attached to.
Got it. Mm-hmm. Uh-oh.
I want to know what we're doing.
But I mean, it's still
here.
being worked on.
I'm curious. I'm sorry. I'm curious about the Loxodon's orb eye.
Cool. So as you kind of peek around to get a better look at its face, it's a little tricky to do without getting in its line of sight, but you've noticed that it doesn't seem to be noticing too much going on around it anyway. You notice both of the Loxodon's eyes are gone and have these ice balls in their place. It makes it feel otherworldly, as though it's not quite right. It's not even necessarily alive in the traditional sense, as it seems like it's just focusing on its work and nothing else. Not like this was a procedure done or anything to replace it, or a curse or anything like that, as though the Loxodon itself isn't... It's almost ethereal in nature, almost not really there, even though from poking it with the spear and everything, you can tell it is physical. I'm only giving you that much because of your phenomenal Arcana check. Your multiple phenomenal Arcana checks across the team earlier.
I think that perhaps this is not a person. This is perhaps some sort of remote worker, so to speak.
But then, who's controlling it?
Are there other exits?
No, just the one door you came in.
And we do have that chest over there.
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone looked for a key? And then Gunvald will start looking around and try to find anything.
Go ahead and hit me with investigation.
Okay.
Do you think you would freak out if we tried to open it?
It's a 12.
Nothing's bothered it yet.
With a 12, you can see that there is a key hanging from the Loxodon's hip.
I could try grabbing it, jumping from the table and trying to grab it.
I mean, if it's just tied there with rope, I can also cut the rope and get it. He seems pretty, focused right now. But maybe we should be ready for a fight if this happens. Is everybody okay with doing this?
Yes. Yeah.
Sure.
I think that's.
I don't know what our
Having
other
it
options are.
All right. Yes, Gunvald will try to cut the rope that the key's on.
How subtle are you trying to be about this?
Trying to be subtle. I think he would be trying to be subtle, yeah.
Go ahead and give me sleight of hand. Let's see what happens.
It's a nat 20 with +2.
All right. So with that, you just get your fingers on the tip of the key, and you take out a small hunting knife that you just have on you, and just ever so slightly get it right in the grooves of the rope, right as it's wrapped, and twist it in just the way that it immediately, the rope disintegrates where the knife touches. Not that it was that shoddy to begin with, but you just managed to just flick the blade just right to take it right off. It doesn't even, you don't even see the fabric on the Loxodon's clothes around it move at all. Perfect. Key is in hand.
Oh. That was easy. I guess we'll open it now. Go over there. And Gunvald's gonna walk over and go open the chest.
Yeah, carefully insert the key, pop the lock open, and lift it up and find 2 more of these frozen, decaying limbs. 2 legs.
Well, we've got a whole body now.
Why were legs blocked away?
It's
Do you
probably
think
so
they'd
they
run away?
couldn't. Yeah, couldn't take a walk. That's yep.
I mean, in this world, I suppose it's possible.
It is, yeah.
Well, so do you think they belong to the torso outside?
That's good. Can we
Oh,
tell?
yeah.
Based on what you know about the arms so far, yeah, it seems like it.
Poor guy.
What happens if we give him his legs back?
Let's find out.
One thing I forgot about, though, too, we are missing a head still.
Was there any facial detail to the person with no limbs?
There was, so though the limbs were spectral, there was no head at all. Not
Oh,
even a
okay,
spectral one.
okay. I didn't realize the head
Yeah.
was just gone.
Yeah, it was gone.
All right. So yeah, then I'm gonna. I think that we should maybe try to attach them.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Alright.
I'm so curious.
Yeah.
So you carry the 3 limbs you currently have because one is still a little preoccupied. And you bring them out the front door. And as you start, I'm assuming you're just trying to slap it back on where it goes?
Can we? Does it react at all when we come out with the legs?
It doesn't react, just I'm going to throw big air quotes around seeing them. So no, nothing immediately.
Because I want to know. Because we still don't know why we've been led here. So I wonder if it's because it wanted help with getting its limbs back. If so, I think it might be excited somehow upon seeing them, you know. I don't know.
It probably can't until it has a head.
Well, we can try just putting them onto him. I mean, that'll at least help him feel it.
I attach the legs like a mannequin.
Yep. So as you get it in place, you see the flesh almost stitch itself back together at the base of the leg to the bottom of the torso. Both legs do it immediately, and then get into position to go where the spectral legs were, pushing right through the snow so that it is now standing on 2 feet of its own.
Jaime goes gross, but Kalwa, it gets real close and is like, that's fascinating.
I think.
Did we do
Audrey
the
would
arm
also-
too?
Yeah,
Just to the
you
party?
still have
Yeah.
it in your hand.
Yeah, I probably, I didn't realize that. Yeah. I'm carrying 2 arms. Like a leg and 2 arms like this. Just trudging along. Yeah, no, I'll put the arm on too.
Just like with the legs, it stitches in and comes right out to that pointing position that the spectral one was in. So it is still standing there, 2 legs, 1 arm, pointing, as it is still missing 1 arm.
I think I'm gonna ask it. Hey, darling, where's your head? Can we get that for you?
It doesn't
You're
appear
supposed
to
to answer.
react.
Can't talk.
You
Here you are.
point.
It might
That's
not be
true,
here.
yeah. It can take instructions, right?
It's clearly able to walk around and point at things.
Yeah.
Can it hear us?
I mean, it knows where we are, so somehow it's using something that a head would have, right?
As I'm grossly close to this thing, can I do a quick medicine check to see if I know which organs are missing?
Absolutely, please do.
Oh, wow. I have a +5 to medicine. Jeez. It does nothing when you roll a 4, though. A 9.
Would anyone like to help Kalwa?
I
will.
can. Go ahead.
Matilda style. I've read books about it.
There
A
you go. Audrey's
19.
giving you the help action. A 19. That's much better. So I will give you a good amount of info on a 19. Firstly, as you're looking at its caved-in chest cavity, you're noticing that as you're poking at these dried out, shriveled organs, everything seems to be in there. Not necessarily perfectly in place, but close enough, except for the heart. Also, you can tell as you're starting to get this more medical examination in, and Audrey's taken a good look as well, and you're conferring on it. Audrey, you've seen a good number of books from your library, textbooks, things like that on this. You can see that this anatomy, proportions, skin, organs, things like that, seems to be pretty darn close to either a human or a god.
You guys, I think this might be a god. I mean, or a human. Sometimes they're proportionately similar, but it's looking godlike.
Simply divine.
Exactly.
It'd be one thing to explain how it could still be moving when it's just a torso.
Although this is the land of the dead, so come see, come saw. I don't know.
when in Doubtheim. Is there like any obvious path forward out of this room or around this room, or there's more to this building, right? Like,
So there were multiple floors going further up, but all of it is gone at this point. So there's theoretically potentially the remains of a second floor above this one that you could just climb the rock to get over because the rest of the tower is just gone. But as far as you can tell, it's just this room on the first floor.
Did we see a heart in a jar?
You saw many hearts and jars, but none that seemed to follow the patterns of all the other limbs you've seen from this being.
Can I just nick a heart in a jar just for myself?
Sure.
Also, if it's
Saved for later.
if it is a god, I wonder if the heart would look different.
Yeah, I wanna like investigate it a little more in a less like hot zone area. Is this gonna be sleight of hand, or am I just stealing it? I think I might just steal it.
Frankly, there's enough hearts just around the room in general that you could probably get somewhere pretty safe that it can't see, that the Loxodon can't see or anything, and just yoink one. I mean,
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
there's
yoink
really not
one.
much stopping you.
Anybody else want one?
No, thank you.
I think I'll be
No.
all right.
Yeah, I've
I
got
think
one.
it. You got one? Okay, good.
Yeah.
I think they're pickled.
Delicious.
I'm gonna go back out and climb up the thing.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Honestly, I would normally ask for an athletics check, but it's really easy with how much the stone is kind of crumbling to find all the handholds you need and get up to the top. And once you do, you see that there is the floor of what would have been the second floor. However, it is completely empty. It is eerily empty. It is so empty that it feels like something is wrong, as though there was never anything there to begin with.
Well, what do we do now?
Can you see anything if you look out into the distance?
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead, give me perception.
That was an 18.
With an 18, even with an 18, unfortunately, the answer is no. It's just snow as far as the eye can see.
Yeah, I assume it's all like foggy, stormy, sort of. Okay.
Can I hear anything?
You can give me perception as well.
21.
With a 21, I will... You know what? Since it's over 20, I'll give you a little something special. So, for the most part, you can only hear the Loxodon working away on his medical dummy with the left arm. And the really, really just abhorrent winds outside. There is an ever so faint sound of metal on metal, just miles off in the distance. Very unclear exactly what it is, and none of the rest of you would have ever picked up on it.
Alright, so I'm going to relay that to the group.
I'm gonna trip and fall off the roof.
Think it's its heart?
Can I get an acrobatics check?
100%. And I hope it's in that one. No, it's a not 20.
Okay, so here I have to ask, is your goal to descend or is your goal to trip and fall?
My goal was to descend, and I was like, how like confidently do I descend? And I was like, too confidently. And then so I assumed I fell. And yeah, and then instead I actually just do like a somersault and then a twizzle, and then I land like at a 3-point stance.
Perfect. Flawless performance.
And I'm like, well, that was unexpected. Where to next, do you suppose?
I mean...
Well, should we get his
yes,
other
I-
arm?
Yeah, but that's going to be tough from the Loxodon.
Yeah, and I wonder if his head is in there. Somewhere, like
Or his
locked
heart.
up like the legs. But I mean, if that tapping noise, the metal on metal was the heart, then it's somewhere else, right? And we have no clue where the head is, and we know where his other arm is.
Where do you suppose the Loxodon's eyes are?
That's a good point too.
What was the inscription on the door?
The
yeah.
inscription was, I have seen you and now we will all become you.
I wonder if that is connected to the eyes. I'm being literal.
Yeah, it's a good call, I think. Oh, I don't know. Go ahead.
Can I do a history check to see if there's like anything that's related to any of like the gods or anything that's there with that?
Please do.
Yeah, what if it's a Bible verse or something?
It's an unnatural 20.
Very
So
nice.
12 plus 8.
So with an unnatural 20, there are... I'm just going to rattle off some history info that you pull up. Firstly, there are 2 gods that are very, very well known for being dead. One is the eldest god, the oldest one ever known about, father of Sciala, father of all the others, by the name of Buri, B-U-R-I. The other dead god is so incredibly well known because his name was erased from every reference in history after he was executed for killing Buri. So likely, if the being in front of you is a god, he is one of those 2. As far as this structure in front of you, the quote, all that jazz, none of it seems to necessarily have any historical significance that you know of. In fact, given how old and destroyed it is really odd that it's here. That it is very similar to Sparrow's Rest. The Age of the Stone, the destruction of the tower itself, it being in Dowdheim is all completely antithetical to the architectural style being that of Sparrow's Rest. This architectural style wasn't even really developed until probably a few hundred years at least after the cold wind started coming through and everyone was forced into Midland. So it's something here isn't right. One of these things does not belong.
Do you think we get the Loxodon to talk?
I think the only way we're going to get a reaction out of him at this point is by messing with what he's working on. They're working on.
I agree.
Someone create a distraction. No, he doesn't respond. Never mind.
Should we just very unstealthily try and rip the arm off the dummy?
I think so.
Should we try to just do it fast and get it attached to the body before he has a chance to even react?
Yeah, maybe. Does it seem like the body can't come inside, like the torso?
It seems to refuse to move from everything that you've seen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Caldwell, you might like this. What if we took his eye?
That's what I was sort of hoping for.
Should we split up? You guys are on eye duty and we're on arm duty. We just do it at the same time.
Oh, it's surgery. Team
Start
surgery.
If he doesn't react, then I don't know. Let's do it.
What do we do first? Do you think we should, at like the same exact time, or do you think we should try to get the eye out and then while he's a little bit distracted by that, get the arm?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe you guys start and then we'll go.
Can I find familiar here?
I can't see why not.
Are you the Loxodon? Because you can't see? Haha. Ha. I'm so funny. Yeah, I'm gonna find familiar myself. Or, I mean, I'm gonna find my familiar.
Yeah.
It is a raven.
Okay. Very dramatic.
I assume it's like non-physical here, is it?
So, that is a great question. You use Find Familiar to summon your raven. and something is immediately off about it. The raven comes down, lands on your shoulder, and as you look at it, you can tell that it's physical. It's there, and it's your raven very specifically. But it's not dead. In fact, it's not reacting to the cold winds like all of you are. And its eyes, you will notice, aren't its normal black raven eyes. They are, in fact, two little balls of crystal or ice.
I look at each of your eyes in the party. Are their eyes normal?
All of your eyes are totally normal.
All right, so I have telepathic communication with this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to call out. Its name is Et, E-T. And
Et.
I'm going to be like, Et, are you there?
And you hear thoughts back from Et, but there's almost like there's a thick layer of static in between as the thoughts are crossing over, and Et is, in one moment, both saying, Kalwa, where are you? Kalwa. Yes, Kalwa, I can't feel your presence. But at the same time, you're hearing, overlaid on top of that, a very despondent, yes, Kalwa, I am here.
I don't like it. I dismiss it immediately. Immediately. Dismiss. I don't like that. I don't think that was Et. I think that was someone else. Now I'm angry.
So maybe this Loxodon is occupied by two entities as well.
I think I'm just going to go take his eye.
Yeah, we can ask questions later.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
so we'll
always
be-
better to ask forgiveness, right? That seems like a healthy boundary. Anyway, I'm gonna walk right up to it and take its eye.
Okay, no stealth or anything?
We're past that.
You jam 3 fingers into the Loxodon's eye socket, and you feel it's not the squish of a normal eye, it is a ball of ice. Your fingers almost get frostbite just touching it, and as you pull, the Loxodon immediately reacts very violently and tries to start taking swings at you. As you pull the eye out and pull away, can I get a dexterity saving throw right quick?
We immediately start on the arm.
Yep.
Dexterity saving throw. Oh no, not great. 6.
With a 6, one of the big meaty palms of the Loxodon slams into your chest and knocks you probably 10-15 feet back as it gets up, and you see its mouth open and trunk go up as it is screaming at you, except it makes no noise. It is almost pantomiming the scream. Take 4 points of, we'll say, bludgeoning damage.
Also, did the eye come out?
Yeah. There is that ball of permafrost in your hand.
Oy.
I'm gonna just wrap it in my cloak and run.
The Loxodon is very much chasing you.
I'm like run into the outside. Did you guys come in with me?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
you
we were
guys
grabbing
do
the arm.
the rest now.
Go ahead, give me whatever check you think is correct for how you're removing this thing.
I'm just gonna pull it, honestly.
All right, give me athletics.
Oh my god, it's a 6. Wait, are we pulling it together?
Yeah, you're working together. You're working together. I will let Gunvald either give you the help action because you're doing it together, or Gunvald, you can do your own roll, whatever you prefer.
I'll do the help action for it.
Cool. Go ahead, Audrey. Give me a second one.
8.
Thankfully, it wasn't attached all that well. You hear a ripping sound as you both pull and tear the arm off from the body. Seems like you got all the arm, though, so it's good. It's fine.
We start. I book it towards the door.
So the room is a circle, and around one side you have Kalwa being chased by the Loxodon, holding its eye in their cloak. And on the other side you have Gunvald and Audrey gunning it with the arm in hand. Can I get acrobatics checks from all three of you?
Okay. That's
Meanwhile,
better.
I'm by the door. Can I watching?
Having a good old
17.
time. 17?
13.
13?
Wait,
Kalwa?
am I the third?
Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna go well, you guys. It's a 9.
You will be happy with that roll. Because of it, Gunvald and Audrey get out the door first with the arm, and you are close behind, still outpacing the Loxodon. Are you guys just slapping the arm directly on, or what are you doing?
Yep.
Yep.
Cool. Who has the arm in hand? I'll ask.
Get it?
Audrey.
I suppose me.
Audrey? All right, Audrey, you run up and swing the arm like it's a club, and the connection point connects, stitches, attaches, and Audrey, you don't notice it first. The order in which we notice it is Nyx, then Kalwa, then Gunvald, then Audrey. Almost in an instant, the building, everything in it, the Loxodon, all of it, disappears like it was never there.
And Kawa got out?
Oh, yeah, Kalwa is by the door, by what was the door. There's no building, Kalwa, there's no building around you. Your feet are sunk into the snow, and you're there.
Has anything changed in the snow? Like, is it still the same weather?
Yeah, same weather, same everything. In fact, the snow is built up around you as though there wasn't a building there a moment ago.
Gunvald's gonna
And
ask.
the eye is no longer in your cloak.
What Gunvald was gonna ask, actually, do you have the eye, and what about the heart?
The heart you stole is also gone.
Interesting.
So what? None of it was ever real?
Is this a bad dream?
Oh my
Well, the limbs were
God.
real.
I think somebody's
Yes.
fucking with us.
All
Can
four
we-
limbs are attached to the corpse.
What is the corpse doing?
Yeah.
It has now, as the building has disappeared, lowered its arm and turned to begin walking in a different direction.
We follow. Or I follow.
Same rules still apply. If it gets too far away, it stops, and otherwise it just keeps walking at a normal pace.
Okay.
Is it in the direction of the metal on metal sound, or a different direction?
What a great question. It is in the exact direction of the metal on metal sound.
Well, that's convenient.
Very convenient.
I'm gonna lean over to Nyx and be like, "Do you want a ride?"
Yes, please.
I'm gonna pick you up and put you on my shoulder.
Great. What a great view. It's so nice up here.
I'm all of 5'4", but it's fine.
Dainty.
That's 4 feet taller than me.
Fair.
So,
Yeah, we follow, I guess. Everybody.
yeah. You're marching along through the snow. It is cold, it is biting, it is miserable, but you are making your way following the corpse, and you reach, as you start seeing it come up, it looks like almost like the ground drops off ahead of you, and as you get closer, you see you're on top of a cliff that goes down, deep down. You can't quite see the bottom, and ahead of you is a bridge that seems to be made of almost just one solid slab of steel. There's no handrails or anything on it. It's just one long slab of steel. And at this point, the metal on metal beating, clanging sound is very loud. You are all plenty able to hear it. It almost hurts your ears a little bit.
Is one metal in the metal on metal the bridge?
It might be. You're feeling the ground shake every time it happens.
I can run ahead across this bridge, see what's going on.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah, sure. Seems, being small, everything seems big, so this shouldn't be too hard.
Can I get to, like, the side of the bridge at all? I know the way bridges work, I wouldn't be able to, but, like, to the side, like, to see if I can see if there's anything underneath it.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you give me a perception check, Audrey?
No, I can't. I got a 3.
Okay.
I'm gonna put Nick down on the top of the bridge, near the bridge, and go with Audrey.
Mhm.
And I'll give you the help action.
Oh, thank you. Oh, that's a 17.
Hey, that's much better. Okay. So with your 17, Audrey, you notice a few things. Firstly, you're noticing as you walk over to that side point, and especially as you see Kalwa do the same, the snow underneath as it compacts, it doesn't have the same sound to it as it's compacting once you get off of the space ahead of the bridge, as though the bridge is actually extending a bit into the land where you guys are right now, and there's still that metal a good ways in. You're also noticing a couple notable things about the bridge. One, on the sides, it's not a flat, wide base like a bridge normally would be. It's almost to a point, almost like an edge. There's inscription on the bridge all the way across. The letters are huge enough to the point in which you didn't even notice them walking up to the bridge, but now that you're taking a step back to try to get a good view around, you're noticing that there's an inscription along the bridge itself.
Ooh, gimme.
And yeah, I will allow you to read it with your 17. It says, "I will use their blood to spill their blood." And you notice one more thing. At this angle, off to your right, you're seeing a silhouette through the light through the snow. It's a good ways in. It's standing in the lower area below you, in front in the canyon or whatever this depression is. It seems to be humanoid in form and massive. In fact, examining the silhouette, it's almost as though it's holding the other side of the bridge. Almost as though this repeated clanging sound is it striking the bridge with something. This thing, it's tough to tell with the distance, but it's probably at least 300-400 feet tall.
Oh, it's that deep of like a ravine.
Yeah. And it's standing in it, holding the other side of this bridge.
Wow.
How far away is it from us?
It's probably a solid 200-ish feet away. It's tough to tell with the snow. At this point, you're still barely seeing a silhouette of it, so.
Hey gang, you might want to see this.
And Audrey, as you look back towards everyone, you do also notice that the corpse has yet again stopped at the edge of the cliff, right around where the bridge starts, and is again pointing forward down the length of the bridge.
You say the silhouette was holding the bridge?
Yeah, its hand is holding up the other end of it. It's almost like this bridge just connects the ground you're standing on to its hand.
Oh. First I die in a fire, now I gotta go be a butler for some giant. I mean, I guess we go.
Is there any wildlife? Is there any evidence of wildlife? Is there like...
Absolutely not. Like, I'm not even going to make you roll for that one.
Okay.
This is as dead gets. The only quote-unquote living things you've seen
Or us,
have
the
been each other.
Loxodon, yeah.
Yep. And this feller now.
Sorry, how far away did you say he was?
Probably 200-ish feet.
How, like, if we were to go on the bridge, how sketchy is it? Like, is it, like...
It is relatively flat. It seems relatively safe to walk on. There is a slight gradient, a slight slant going out towards the edges as they are edge on the ends. Almost like the edge of, I don't know, a sword or something. But it is flat enough because of how wide it is. It is flat enough to be safe to walk on. It's not like you're thinking you're going to slip and fall off the side.
Is it arced or is it flat?
It is very flat.
Methinks that sword description was more than poetic. I mean, above the table, what are the options here?
I think we just go.
The torso has not let us in any bad situations before, so
Yeah,
I hold
we're
up my
already dead.
crossburned my like frostbitten fingers. I'm not so sure about that.
I mean, you did decide to
Based
do
on
that.
what evidence?
All right, Nick's shoulder.
I'm sorry, what?
Shoulder.
Yes, please.
Alrighty, I guess we're crossing the bridge then.
Yeah, but I'm readying something. I'm gonna, as we cross the bridge, I'm gonna at 60 feet out of us from us. I'm gonna do create bonfire.
Interesting. For visibility?
Yeah, for
or-
visibility.
Ah. Alright, cool. Clever. So, I do have to ask a quick question to everyone but Nixara. What are we wearing on our feet?
I have
definitely
boots
have
on.
boots. Yeah.
Boots.
Yeah, probably same
Okay.
docs or something.
So,
I don't
Sorry?
like that question.
I
Yeah.
don't like that.
Also, why were you excluded? Probably because you're touching me and not the bridge, is my guess.
Right.
yeah, on a shoulder. Yeah.
Metal's cold.
Yeah. Well, is it? Because for some reason, even through the thick soles of your boots, you can feel that the further you go along the bridge, the warmer it feels. In fact, the contrast of this light warmth to the environment you've now been in for hours at this point with all the walking almost makes your ankles, where you're a little bit more exposed but still close to it, almost feel a searing sensation. Just from the sheer contrast of how warm this metal is.
Can I
To the cold
roll
environment
survival
around you.
for this to make sure that I'm not thinking that because I think I would think, or Kala would think hypothermia at that feeling.
Go for it. Yeah, go for it.
That's a 17.
Cool. So with a 17, you immediately pull up the pant leg, check your ankles and things like that, and you're noticing no signs of hypothermia. In fact, one of the things that almost is a little upsetting is you're noticing that even the points where you're a little frostbitten on your fingers from touching the eye, it's not as though it's progressing in any way or healing in any way. It's as though your body isn't even necessarily being damaged, destroyed, or healing from the cold environments and things that you've been around. Almost as though you're being preserved rather than destroyed. And the searing sensation is very much, especially as you look down and start inspecting the skin around your ankles, you start feeling the heat in your fingers as well. It is the metal you're walking on that is hot.
Did the body come along with us, the corpse?
Nope, it has stayed at the cliff edge.
Okay.
How far do we have to go before we see something? Do we go all the way to the end and then make a perception check, or do we see anything
So what I will
along
say
the way?
is, who is leading the pack? Who's in the front?
Probably be Gunvald.
Okay. Probably with Kalwa right behind, casting the great
Yeah.
bonfire.
Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe at the
In that
back.
case, Gunvald. Oh, sorry, you're in the back. Cool. Gunvald, can you give me a perception check?
13.
Cool. With a 13, and I will lower the DC because of the bonfire. That will be plenty, so that you can see once you're probably 70, 80-ish feet out, another 50, 60-ish feet ahead, you see something that is giving off a sort of light. You see that there is a small opening that seems to have some sort of deep red crimsonish light coming from it. And then you're noticing further down metal scale. I don't know if you guys have ever seen anything forged, but as it heats up, you get the impurities of the metal kind of peeling off of it in little scaled metal chunks. So you're seeing the scale come up, and the scale is sort of morphing into little devil-like creatures around where this opening is.
We can definitely see the creatures, though.
Yeah, absolutely. With the bonfire and everything, you can see them. They don't seem to see you. In fact, they don't seem to really even be paying attention to the bonfire that's going on or paying attention to much of anything. They're kind of just hanging around.
I love them already.
Like Spirited Away style little soot spirits?
Yeah, sprites or something.
Made out of sharp metal scales, but generally, yes.
You know, you work with what you got.
Glad you guys are okay with this, because I don't love this idea.
Gunvold is very much getting ready for a fight.
Do we just, like, carefully keep walking?
I mean, they don't seem to notice,
forward.
much like the Loxodon, right?
Right.
We're a little bit further away, though, potentially, but... I mean, we don't have anywhere else to go.
Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah.
So as you keep marching forward, are we trying to be stealthy about this, or are we just keeping a steady pace going?
Gunvold's got a light crossbow out, and he's not really trying to be that stealthy. He's just moving forward.
Okay. So you start coming up on where that opening is, and once you're about 5-ish feet away, you can see in it, the opening itself is probably about a 5 by 5 foot opening, just a few, probably 7-8 inches deep. In it is a beating heart that seems to be pumping blood into the bridge itself. And once you get this close, you notice the devils that are just kind of hopping around, just kind of being playful little devils doing a whole lot of nothing. Stop, stand still, and turn and stare at you.
I mage hand them and push them off the bridge.
I feel like they're protecting it. Like, if we try to grab it, something will happen. So, can you do
Mage
that?
hand does have a maximum that it can push. I think it's, what, 5 pounds?
Yeah, 5 pounds, but I'm assuming they're like this big.
Oh, no. They're probably a foot or so tall.
Oh, I thought they were like really small. Okay, never mind.
No, I got you. That's my bad on description there. Yeah, they're little guys.
They got bigger
but
as we
they are-
approached. Like,
Yeah, exactly. They seem to be a coagulation of multiple scales kind of coming together.
Mage hand is 10 pounds.
Mage hand is 10 pounds. Okay, and especially with these being made out of metal, they
Yeah,
are a
this is-
little heavy for a mage hand shove.
yeah, this is bigger than a bowling ball. So
Yes.
I fear that if we remove this heart, also our bridge might disappear.
Yeah, might need to run at that point.
If there's time.
can we
How
cross
close is-
the divot? Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, how close is the other edge to
Yeah.
it? Like, are we near the hilt or anything, or...?
No. So the portion of, I'll just say the blade. The portion of the blade overall that you're walking on is probably 250-ish feet long, and you guys get to this divot about 100 to 150 feet in. So there's still a good bit beyond you.
We're like right in the middle.
Yeah.
It would take 2 rounds of dashing, I think, to get back to the land.
Is there anything around us, or is it just like Grand Canyon style?
Grand Canyon style. It is just a sheer drop on either edge. And you can get a good count at this point. There are 3 of the devils out in front of you. They're probably 15, 20-ish feet away at this point since you're at the divot.
Oh, so is this a fight, do we think?
I don't know. We could always try just removing the heart. Things have been weird here. I don't know what's going to happen with it, really.
If someone wants to try and take the heart, Audrey will prepare an action to, I don't know, she'll get her pistol out.
Can we even die here?
That's a good point.
We go to double hell.
Double dowd.
Just like second breakfast, second hell.
Is the heart light enough to pick up with Mage Hand?
Oh,
Yes,
that's a good
the
question.
heart absolutely is.
You whisper that into my ear because I didn't think of that.
I also have Mage Hand as a cantrip, so if
oh yeah, we could both do it,
we could.
just in case if one of us loses it while it's being carried, maybe.
True. And then I think I can make mine invisible.
I don't think I can.
Just an FYI.
Mine looks like mushrooms.
Do we want
Like
to
for
do
real,
that?
it's like mushrooms.
That's awesome.
And then
Oh,
the rest of us prepare actions to defend it.
Yeah.
And get ready to run, I think.
That's true too.
Which way? Across
Back.
or back?
Well, no, across
back.
it just ends, doesn't it?
There's the silhouette man.
So, yeah, exactly. At this point, you can see firmly there's a little bit beyond where the devils are is a hammer occasionally coming down and striking at the blade, a massive hammer being held by the giant. And then a further bit beyond that, you can see at this point where the hand is holding on to the handle of the blade itself. From what you can tell, there's nothing beyond the handle of the blade.
Oh.
And also, if we get the heart, don't we need to go back to the corpse?
Body.
Okay.
Yeah,
Looks like a
previously
plan.
the Loxodon and his tower didn't disappear until you attached all of the limbs.
It's an important thing to note. We should probably make sure we don't put the heart back until we are all off the bridge.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
I guess back is the way to go if needed.
Well, are we ready?
Let's do it.
I cast my mage hand.
I'll also cast Mage Hand.
Audrey's gonna go into a rage.
Audrey's a barbarian? Wait, what? I mean,
Ooh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Libraries take all types.
Yeah.
Oh, Audrey goes into a rage and she looks like if a cat was a bodybuilder and her eyes start are like two little fireballs.
The feline fury before you, as well as Gunvald crossbow at the ready, with Kawa and Nyx with their mage hands out.
I don't have my warhammer out.
Hell yes. So, what formation are we in? Where are we standing in relation to the divot? And how are we doing this?
I think Audrey would have raged behind everyone so that it's a surprise.
Run past everyone.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Gunvald would be on like the edge of the divot, like when aiming his crossbow down into it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, I'd be standing with Nyx on my shoulder still, I assume. Like, behind Gunvald, and that's where we cast Mage Hand.
Yeah, we just need to be 30 feet, so.
You both have your mage hands come down towards the heart, and the entire time that they're moving, you see no response from the devils. They are still just hard focused. Either, it's hard to tell since they don't have normal eyes and things, either hard focused on the heart itself or on Gunvald standing in front of it. As the hands touch and you, I'll say, feel the heart and the relative warmth of it, the blade, the metal itself around it is still much hotter. There's still no reaction, but as soon as the hands pick the heart up and it disconnects from the metal of the blade, everyone roll initiative.
19.
Very nice.
10 for Kalwa.
20 for Gunvold.
9 for Nyx.
This is where I'm playing a tactician here, and an ability I can use for my initiative to actually swap initiatives with another party member. I think I am going to swap with Nyx so that they can get started on getting the hand out of there.
Cool. So Gunvald's 20 will be swapped with Nyx. And then Kalwa, what was your roll?
I'm sorry. It is a 9.
9.
I'm sorry, a 10. I rolled a 9 plus
A 10.
1.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Top of turn order, Nyx. You and Kalwa both have the heart in your hands, and the attention of all 3 of the scale devils.
Okay, so I am using Mage Hand.
Good old mage ham.
I can't say this word. Ledger domain.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Says when you cast Mage Hand, you can cast it as a bonus action and make it invisible. You can control the hand as a bonus action, and through it you can make dexterity checks.
Awesome.
If that is appropriate, I'm going to make my hand invisible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to at least attempt to lift the heart out of the what are we calling it? The crevice.
Yeah, the divot. The
divot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And bring it towards the party.
Cool. Awesome. Are you bringing it straight to you and Kalwa, or?
I'm going to bring it as far back as possible.
So right now you could probably bring it about 10-15 feet behind you. So frankly a little bit past Audrey. And that is just your bonus action to do that, right?
Yes, I can do this as a bonus action.
Perfect. So you still have your main action then.
I think that's all I'm going to do.
So that would make it Audrey's turn.
Alrighty, I'm gonna swing this hammer.
Yeah, you have no problem making it right up to one of the devils in a single move.
Mm-hmm. They look like they're about to get feisty, right?
Oh,
They're
absolutely.
getting active. Okay, that is a 22 to hit.
22 to hit. That absolutely hits.
Okay, and then... Oh, why did I do that? Oh, so then 13 damage.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. And then are you doing anything with your minor action?
No, the only thing that constitutes as a bonus action is going into a rage, and I already did that.
Okay, cool. So you guys see as you're carefully lifting this heart. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, maybe I'll use my movement to... Well, no, because I'm still... Never mind. I'm still fighting.
Okay. So as you see Nyx carefully lifting the heart and yoinking it away as far as she can, you see as the heart moves over all of your shoulders, Audrey guns it around you. Warhammer in hand, takes one shot that cleaves an entire arm off of one of the scale devils as little bits of metal flakes fly everywhere off of it. So then we go to the scale devil that just lost one of its limbs. As with its other arm, it reaches down onto the sword and picks up a piece of scale that forms into a sort of trident in its hand. It takes a shot at you with its new metallic fork. Does a 10 hit your armor class?
No, it does not.
Very nice. And then the next attack is a 12. Does a 12 hit your armor class?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So, you will take 7 slashing damage.
Got it.
You see as the scale devil takes up this trident, this fork, stabs at you, and you manage to barely deflect it with your hammer, with your warhammer. The damage is halved, by the way, because you are a barbarian. Raging. rounded down. So yes, as you bring your arms back up, it bites onto one of your elbows, and you bleed a good bit from that. But you power through with your wonderful barbarian rage.
So 3 damage.
Yes, yes. So then, the next scale devil picks up a fork as well out of the scale coming off of the sword, and rushes Gunvald. Gunvald, tell me, does an 8 beat your armor class?
No.
Okay. What about a 16?
Meat.
You will take 2 slashing damage. As it rushes up to you, its fork in hand, its pitchfork in hand, and as it tries to stab at you, it trips on some of the scale and kind of clatters to the ground, making a very unpleasant scraping sound. But as it comes back up and you're aiming your crossbow, it actually takes a small bite out of your ankle. And lastly, the third one will also rush Audrey. Audrey, 16 hits, I'm assuming?
It does.
And a 6 does not. So then, please take 2 damage halved down to 1.
How shall I ever
This time
recover?
This time it lifts its fork up, takes a stab at you, and just manages to barely scrape across one of your biceps. And as it tries to bite at you again, you take the pommel of your warhammer and bop it on the head to keep it off of you.
That ain't very nice, buddy.
Kalwa, it is your turn.
I mean, I assume we're just running.
Cool.
I'm gonna turn to Nyx and be like, "We doing this? Run? Yes."
Yeah, always.
Yeah. I'm gonna. What's it? I'm gonna dash.
Cool. Yeah, that gets you over halfway back to mainland. So you are gunning it, and the heart is just floating a little bit ahead of you as you're sprinting straight forward. Nyx barely clinging onto your shoulders. You're just booking it as fast as you can.
Yeah, I've got my claws out, and I'm like, I'm so sorry.
And lastly, in turn order, Gunvald. What would you like to do?
Gunvald can't really fire his crossbow right now as being engaged in combat with this guy, so he's just kind of trying to hold him off, and Gunvald will yell over to Audrey for the battlefield presence, which is I can grant somebody an extra attack. So on your next turn, you'll have an extra attack to use.
Ooh.
That is awesome.
And then, as a bonus action, we use a helpful word, which is just basically I expend one of my leadership die, but it doesn't gain any benefit from that. I just use one of them, and it's just allowing the help action, so it gives advantage on the next attack for Audrey as well. So basically, just like while he's defending that, he's just like, try hitting them off the edge, just try getting them out. And I think that'll be it for now. He's just going to stay back and defend.
Very nice, very nice. Then that would make it Nyx's turn.
So we're 60 feet from the devils now? Something like that?
Yeah, you're a little over 60 feet away because you were already about 15-ish to start, so you're nearing 100 feet away. And you're probably 50-ish feet away from mainland.
Can I say that when I ran, I said to Nyx, I'm gonna put you down and you can just keep going.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll allow dialogue between turns and everything. That's
Okay.
fine as long as it's not ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep running. And I have a speed of 40.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter.
That is phenomenal.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter if she's smaller because she can't put it in the thing until we get there anyways.
Yeah, see, there we go.
Let's hold on to it for a while.
It is this perfect fluid motion as Kalwa, you finish your stride and Nyx just leaps perfectly off of your shoulder. Immediately, your paw pads feel a little uncomfortable on the heat of the metal, but you power through and push all the way to the edge. You are now by the corpse, heart in your mage hand.
Got life in my hand.
How poetic.
So then that would make it Audrey's turn. Audrey, you do have advantage on your first attack for the turn and a second attack
So
because of Gunvald.
Yes. So my Warhammer pushes 10 feet as well. And
Oh, nice.
you said advantage, right?
Advantage on the first one, yep.
Okay. Does a 13 hit?
Yes.
Okay. So let's do the mosh. Oh shit. 5 damage, but he is pushed 10 feet. Oh, I also wanted to know, there's still 3 left, but some are damaged.
There are 3 total, yes.
And-
1 is on Gunvald, 2 are on you, the damaged one is on you.
Okay. And then how wide is the bridge?
The bridge is probably, let's go 50-ish feet wide.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I mean, it's proportional to the sword.
Yeah, fair.
The sword's
In my head, it was like
150
20.
feet long.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so second attack then. I've pushed him 10 feet. Maybe I can try...
I mean, you guys are already on the right side because you're not standing in the divot. So, yeah, probably one more swing would take him right off. And is this the one that's already damaged or the one that is undamaged?
Whichever one was closest to me, I guess. Damage.
They're both right on top of you.
21 to hit.
21 absolutely hits.
And then 12 damage.
Awesome, awesome. So because you would have had to move to push one back and then push it again, what I will say happens is, especially with that phenomenal attack roll, is you hit the one that you already damaged and push it. And as it's stumbling back, now with huge portions of its scaled body being taken right off, you hit the other one, dealing that, how much damage did you say the second hit was? 12? Dealing that 12 damage and knocking it into the other one, pinballing it off the edge.
Yeah. Love that.
It cascades and tumbles down. Anything else on your turn then?
That was just the 1 or 2?
That was both, because the first one was the hit on the first for 13.
I know, but like both
for
of them
the
go off
hit
the
roll.
edge,
Oh,
or
sorry.
only one? Sorry.
Oh, only one has gone off the edge and
Okay.
the other is pretty severely damaged.
Gotcha. I did rage in the style of the eagle, and that gives me bonus action dash or disengage, but I don't need those right now. So I'll just...
I mean, you could bonus action dash to get back into melee range with the one you just pushed.
Okay, I'll do that then. Just so I'm ready next time.
Cool. And then it is the Scale Devil on Gunvald. Gunvald does a 7 hit your armor. What about an 18?
That does, yeah.
Believe it or not.
Please take 5 slashing damage as it yet again takes a good nibble out of your calf.
Bite my ankles.
And then the one that is on Audrey.
it's a Pomeranian.
It's a 2-year-old.
Oh man. So the 5 I'm assuming does not hit you, Audrey, but the 16 does?
Yes, the 16 and not the 5.
Go ahead and take 5 damage, halved, rounded down, so 2 damage, as it takes a bite out of wow. This part of the arm, the forearm. There we go. Wowie wow.
You did it!
And you just kind of flex your arm and it pushes its fangs out of you, out of your arm. Cool. And that is both of the Scale Devil's turns. Go ahead, Kalwa.
So about how much space? Oh, whoops. About how much space is between me and Grunvar? Vald. Sorry, I keep saying that. Grunwald. Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Gunvald is about 60, 65 feet away from you. Because you were behind him and then booked it for your full 60.
I'm gonna run back 30 feet toward them, and I'm just gonna yell, "This way, and I'll cover you." And I'm gonna hold my action for them taking off toward us.
Okay. And when they do, what action are you holding?
I'm gonna shillelagh my staff. And I'm gonna use the hit if I can.
Yeah, absolutely. Smack whatever's following him. Cool. Awesome. That makes it Gunvald's turn.
All right. As a bonus action first, I'm going to use Urgent Orders, which is, again, expending a leadership die, and a target allied within 60 feet of me that I can see or hear can immediately use its reaction to move up to 30 feet, up to its movement speed, 30 feet maximum, without provoking opportunity attacks. And the leadership die in this one does get you temporary hit points, so leadership die is a d6. I'm going to use this for Audrey to start running. And that's a 3, so you get 3 temp HP, and then you can move 30 feet without opportunity attacks hitting you.
Okay. Are you gonna be okay? There's one on you.
I'm going to use my action to disengage.
Okay.
Then just move 30 feet myself, so we'll be about the same distance. Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, you get the inspiring words from Gunvald saying, "Hey, retreat, we've got you. Call will cover you," or something along those lines, giving you the freedom to break away and move. I'm assuming you're taking that opportunity?
Me right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's immediately.
Yeah. I also, because of Eagle and because I'm a tabaxi, I think I could move like 90 feet. Like...
It does limit it. This ability specifically limits it at 30.
So like I couldn't add what you gave me to what I already have?
No, once it's back to your turn, you can. But this is on my turn. You're using your reaction to just move 30 feet. Yeah.
Okay, I'm down.
Okay.
Cool. And so Audrey turns and starts booking it about 30 feet out. Gunvald, then you will...
I'll use my action to then disengage and then move 30 feet away. So I'm just going to try to kick the thing away from me a little bit and then run away.
You give it a good shove, maybe smack it with the butt of your crossbow and book it as well. So you are now, actually, because of where Caldwell was when he came back towards you, all three of you are kind of huddled together now. That takes us to top of turn order with Nyx. Is there anything you're doing on your turn?
No, I'm just being aware and holding on to this heart.
Very good, very good. At that point, Audrey, your turn.
I'm going to... I believe I can dash and then use my bonus action to dash again. But then I think I come out of the rage.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, because you go a turn without attacking anything. Yep.
But you could attack yourself, you see.
No, it does say an enemy.
We like to avoid
I'm my own worst
self-harm.
enemy. Awesome. And that's fine. And with your extra movement from being a tabaxi and everything, I'm pretty sure that takes you well back to mainland, no problem.
Yeah, that's 120
Awesome.
feet. And then there's a tabaxi like feat that I could use as well. I don't have to, so I'm not going to, but because I can only use it once a day. But yeah.
Yep. And so now Audrey is back on mainland with Nyx. And then that makes it the Scale Devil's turns. The one that was on Audrey, you see it crouch down into the blade and sprout scale wings.
Oh, good.
The other one does the same, and both of them start making their way towards Gunvald. Unfortunately, their movement in this form is 40 feet as they glide towards you. So you are re-engaged with both of them, but it was their action to sprout those wings, so that stops them for their turn. That makes it Kalwa's turn.
So we should be next to each other, right? Gunvald and I?
Yeah. Yep.
So are they right on us?
I will say one of them is engaged with you. The other one is only engaged with Gunvald, just because of how you guys are positioned.
I will baseball bat.
With your shillelagh staff?
Yeah, my shillelagh staff. I'm just gonna baseball bat. 18.
Yeah, that hits. Yeah.
That's 7 points of damage.
Very nice.
And for my bonus action, actually no, yeah, I'm gonna wait until you get away a little more.
I should clarify, the Scale Devils did just get up to you, which would have triggered your held action.
Oh, right. Okay, right. That's
so
true.
yeah,
that
you
is
still have a
true.
full
Yeah.
action on your turn.
So yeah, I have a full action here. Cool. So that was my held action was hitting them. Now I have an action.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to. I don't know if that'll do anything, but I mean, I'll try it. Why not? I'm just gonna hit him again.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
That's a 24 to hit.
Yeah.
Druids are dumb strong sometimes. That's 8 damage.
All right.
I'm gonna look at Gunvald and be like, "Are you injured?"
No, I'm fine.
All right. And I'm not gonna healing word or healing whatever. And I'll wait with you.
Solidarity, I like it. So you see, Kalwa, as soon as they start flying in, Kalwa picks one out of the air, smacking it to the ground with their staff. And then they raise it on high, bring it down one more time, and the Scale Devil explodes as Kalwa smashes it to pieces. There is only one left. That would make it Gunvald's turn.
Okay. So I'm the only one engaged right now, right?
Yes,
The
it's
last
just
one?
you.
Yeah.
That's correct.
So we'll actually use the bonus action to equip my light crossbow and equip a rapier and just go for an attack.
Yeah, go for it.
Just directly go stab. That's 23.
23 absolutely hits.
Okay. That's 1d8. That is 4 damage total.
4 damage total. Cool. Gunvald puts his crossbow away, takes his rapier out, and immediately jabs forward, and it pierces right through part of the face of the Scale Devil in front of him. Top of turn order, Nyx.
Audrey's the only one near me, correct?
Yeah, the two of you are together there on mainland.
I'm not really going to do anything. I'm just going to say,
Yeah, no, totally
Audrey, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you made it.
Me too, darling.
Speaking of Audrey, that makes it your turn.
So on the pistol, it says 30 feet for the range, but in parentheses it says 90.
That means you can fire it 90 feet at disadvantage.
Oh, I see. And then is the how far away is Gunvald?
Gunvald is probably 60, 70 feet away.
Okay, and then is the thing skewered?
So it's not dead.
Right,
There is still the one left that is in his face, but go ahead.
but like the rapier is in its face, it's skewered on his rapier.
I feel like if I answer yes, you have something fun you get to do, so
Well-
I'll answer yes.
You could still tell me I can't do it, but like,
No, go for it. Go for
well,
it.
I
Let's see what
was
happens.
just gonna try and shoot it, but then I'm like, would it still be disadvantage, or would Gunvald be giving me the help action, sort of? You can decide.
I'll allow it to count. Nope. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Ooh,
You
okay,
gotta
let's see.
respect
Roll
that.
normally.
That's a respectable argument.
I'm just asking.
Roll normally as the advantage and disadvantage will cancel out from Gunvald giving you the help action via holding its head in place.
So that is an 11. Or plus 4 is 15 to hit.
15 does hit.
Okay. So now for the pistol. Okay, that's a D10. Let me see. Shit. Give me 17. 3.
All of that for a 3.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That was a 14 to hit, not a 15.
That's fine.
Okay.
It's either way.
Warhammer's different than pistol.
With that, Gunvald, you pierce it and you're having trouble getting the rapier out of its face initially, but it's okay. The hole is opened up wider by a bullet. It is still standing all right. So it will start taking some shots at you, Gunvald. Does a 16 hit?
16 does.
Does a 13?
13 does not.
Cool. And then you will then take 5 points of slashing damage as these things suck at using their forks apparently, but it does dig into your calf one more time with its teeth. Your legs are looking a little rough.
Yes, it's not good.
Call,
Can I use my reaction when that happens?
2?
At the it's a range of 10 feet. How close am I? Am I within 10 feet?
Yeah, we're within 10.
I Halo of Spores. And I'm surrounded by invisible necrotic spores that are harmless, unless I release them or unleash them on a creature nearby. So Gunvald, you probably get a little stuffy from mold spores. Within 10 feet, you use your action to deal 1d4 necrotic damage unless it succeeds on a con saving throw against my spell save DC, which is it's going to be 16. It's 16.
Okay. It fails, so go ahead and roll damage.
It's just 1d4, but it's guaranteed, or nearly guaranteed. 4.
Nice. With that, you see, oddly enough, this metallic creature starts coughing as it seems like, oddly in this frozen cold environment, there's still some decay that starts eating away at the scale, rusting it somehow. It's, yeah, good job. And
that was my reaction.
That was
on
your
his turn.
reaction.
Yeah, I'm going to just hit it with Shillelagh again.
Make it.
That's a 16 to hit.
16 hits.
5 points of damage from my staff.
Ooh, awesome. You smack it, and at this point, it is falling apart. You see that it's almost barely clinging on as a couple last scraps hold themselves together. Is that your turn?
I'm going to book it 30 feet.
And that brings us lastly to Gunvald.
If I can hit it.
If you can hit it. Its armor class is a 27.
You got this, sweetheart.
It's just when it's got scraps, it got really hard to hit. Is that what's happening?
Exactly, that's correct. The more you break it, the harder it is to hit.
Yeah. All right. I will just go to stab it with the rapier. That is a 21 to hit. I like this
Beautiful.
die.
Yeah, go ahead, give me damage.
3.
With a 3. You are inspecting it, and with your perfect tactician's mind, you see exactly the one point that seems to be holding the top half and bottom half together, and you jab at it, and the same like you did with the rope, you just pop it right out of there, and the whole thing collapses down. You guys are out of initiative order. You're good to go.
All right. Let's run.
Woohoo!
You have no issue booking it all the way back to the corpse, now with the heart at the ready.
I'm panting.
Yeah.
What took you guys so long?
I was afraid.
They kept biting my ankles. It's hard to run.
All right. Should we do this?
Is it moving? I guess in voice.
heart?
Is it moving? Is it beating?
Yes, the heart is still beating.
Can I hold it?
I passed the heart from my mage hand to Kawa.
I stared at it for like an awkwardly long amount of time, and then I'm gonna give it back to you guys, to you, Nyx, and I'm gonna be like, you do it. I don't want to do it.
All right, so I am put the heart, I guess, against the chest where it would go in a human.
Yeah, so it's the chest cavity is caved in, so you can actually kind of just sink it in where it would go. And as you do that, you see it connect, and some of the organs start sliding back into place as the ribcage pops out, closes, and its skin knits back over on the chest of the corpse. And, just like before, the bridge is gone. Its arm goes down as it turns and begins walking.
Well, you're welcome.
I guess we follow it.
Here we go again.
Keeping consistent, yeah. So, you guys are progressing through, following it as per usual. Can I actually get wisdom saving throws from everyone?
Let's see.
13.
16 for Kawa.
18 for Nyx.
Are you joking? So I have a -1 and I got a nat 1.
You got a 0?
What the
Good thing you have 9 lives.
heck? You know?
So, Nyx, Kalwa, and Gunvald, you all feel the passage of time become nebulous. You're unsure if you're walking for hours, days even. It's completely unclear, and it's almost as though some effect on your mind is making time just blend together. Audrey, you're just walking. It is what it is. Whatevs. Until you start coming to what seems to be almost like a small arena made of stone. It's in a horseshoe-ish shape, and you're coming to the opening in it. And of course, as per usual, before entering this horseshoe shape, the corpse stops and points, as always.
All right, what do we gotta do now? Should we make checks or something? I want to look
Can
around.
make checks or something if you like, yeah.
Kawa got a 16.
On?
Perception, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, not perception, investigation, I apologize.
Gotcha. So this is an open structure. There's no roof or anything. And you can see from where you're standing, there is a figure about 6-ish feet tall standing in the center of this arena. And you can see from the silhouette he is holding a sword, and there is something on the ground in front of him. You can also see, you can't see the sides that aren't facing you, but the side that is, lifted about 15 feet up, chairs with silhouettes of bodies sitting in them, as though they're observing, watching down, except for the central chair that is directly in front of you all the way up there, which is empty, and there is some inscription above it.
Gimme.
You're a bit too far away to read it. Yep. You can walk in. It's all good.
All right, we walk in.
Cool. So as you walk in forward, you see anyone who has seen depictions of him would recognize Skiala standing in the center of the arena holding a sword. Skiala is normally not depicted with a sword. It's actually a little odd. This is the World Father, the King of the Gods, the current King of New Taverheim, standing in the center of this arena. And what is at his feet is a head. And above the chair is the inscription, "The traitor cannot be allowed to exist for the safety of all."
So, judging by the description, do we think this is the god that killed... Excuse me. Bury?
That's what I think.
The traitor. Would we know anything, or could I make a check or something about Scala's relationship with his dad?
Yes, you can make a history check or religion check.
10. Oh, sorry. History, yeah, 10.
Can I do that as well?
Absolutely, you can do that, or you can give the help action, whichever you prefer.
I'll do a help action.
Cool. Audrey, go ahead, reroll.
16.
Okay, cool. So with a 16, you know that Bury was very well regarded, very well beloved, generally seen as, whereas Scala is known for just sheer wisdom, being just the smartest guy ever, smartest, coolest, best guy, no question in anything there. Bury was known for not only being incredibly wise, but also incredibly kind. Bury was the leader of the gods before his passing, and Scala kind of stepped in that role. And from what we know, was beloved up until the time of his death. But of course, this predates the cold and everything, so it's all very ancient tales.
Is there any... Oh, go ahead.
What do we know about the unnamed god?
All that is known is that once he killed Bury, he was executed, and any record of his name erased.
And we don't know who executed him or anything?
You don't know for sure from historical records. You kind of got a scene in front of you.
Is the, so this depiction, is it like a statue? Is it like...
No, it is Scala standing
it's actually
in the flesh
him?
right in front of you.
Oh,
Except
I misunderstood
something
it.
seems off.
Okay.
His eyes aren't there. It's as though they've been replaced with balls of ice.
So we gotta fight him, or for the head? I suppose.
The head is there on the ground in front of him.
Yeah, I suppose just like the sprites, if we try and take it, he's like, it's time to fight. And we need it, so...
Maybe we could bargain with him.
I think that would be my course of action in any normal circumstances, but these don't seem like normal circumstances.
I don't think these are the real people so much as they are some sort of shadow or perhaps some sort of projection. I become a bear
Okay.
and I walk right up to him and I take the head at his feet and put it in my mouth. And I start walking away.
So, as you yoink the head, you see Scala turn towards you and start hoisting up the sword that seems to be a little too heavy for him, frankly. But he seems to start kind of following you, dragging the sword across the ground, but you are outpacing him easily.
I bring the head back.
Cool, awesome. Are we examining it, or are we just planting it right on?
I'm gonna say a bear. You guys can do it.
Say we just put it on.
The bear drops the toy he's been carrying, or sorry, the toy they've been carrying at your feet.
I just turn around and stare at Scala between me and, like, I put myself between the party and Scala.
Yeah. Yep. You guys have no issue, I'm assuming, planting the dome back where it goes.
Yeah.
And you see this withered, shriveled head, again, knit along the neck right back as it's supposed to. And it seems like the whole body is back together. But the arm still lowers, and the body turns again and starts its march.
I'm
of
still a
course, the
bear.
arena, Scala, all of it's gone. I am still bear? Okay, cool.
What else do we need?
I'm gonna bend down so Nyx can jump on my shoulders.
The bunny riding the bear.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm gonna like nuzzle in because it's so nice and warm.
Got
Is he
nothing else to
moving?
do.
Yeah, he's walking.
Yeah.
Oh, he's walking. Okay, so I'm just gonna start following him.
Mhm.
Same.
I guess I don't have a choice.
This is the longest walk yet, as you go to what is a squared tower with a few floors still intact and one of the corners of it caved in with stone. And you see for the first time, the body, instead of just stopping and pointing, turns back to all of you and opens its mouth as if to speak, but no sound comes out. Can someone give me a perception check, insight check, investigation, medicine, whatever you like?
Could do an
Does someone else want to do
I got a 14 for perception.
Cool.
Get a 10 for investigation.
Okay.
it? I just
I
realized.
can do a.
Archer, are you not even sharing yours, Audrey? I thought I heard a dice roll.
Yeah, well, I got a nat 1, but I just realized I can use primal knowledge to use my strength modifier instead of my perception modifier. It's only one more, but like I got a 3.
Better than a 0.
Yeah.
I got a dirty 20 on perception.
If I
Very
use-
nice. So Nyx and Kalwa, you have no issue noticing that something is stopping the body from speaking. As you look into its mouth mouth decayed, its cheeks gaunt. It does not have a tongue.
I had a
And
feeling
it-
this is
as
where we
it's-
were going.
And as it is looking at all of you, its arm points out to its side instead of in front of it, pointing at the opening into this final squared tower.
Well,
I guess I unwild shape. Yeah, let's go in.
yeah.
Cool. You approach and you see there is a body of a large god, a more thick-built god, very, very big, very large. Not Skjaldar. Skjaldar is often depicted as very large and in charge. This is not him, but another similarly large god, slumped against the wall with a notable historic spear pierced right through his chest. Standing in the room with something in a clenched fist is again Skjala. And inscribed not once, but hundreds of times across the stones around the walls is the text, "Now that you know, you will have to be silenced."
I'm just going to take a wild guess and say that there's a tongue in that hand.
What? No way!
We don't know. We don't know. Could be anything.
Could be anything. Yes, Nyx, you can see that it is in fact the tip of a tongue you can see held in Skjala's hand.
And Scala is like whatever alive it can possibly be in here, right? That's what it seems.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
What do his eyes look like?
They are the ice eyes. In fact, as you get a closer examination, you can see that, oddly enough, unlike usual, Skjala seems to be completely frozen over. Like a statue, almost.
I'm assuming the other big god is Buri. Is anyone thinking similar?
Unfortunately, there aren't enough depictions to have a good idea of, but one could assume.
I'm assuming.
I think it might be the one who was killed.
Yeah, Buri.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No,
if
no,
he's-
the one who killed Burry.
Oh, so then who are we dealing with? Getting parts for?
Hurry.
I think it's something like that.
That we have Buri and that one is the unnamed one?
So it's one of them is one and the other one is the other. I don't know which
Yeah.
one's which. I could see it either way.
I think we're getting parts for the unnamed god. That's what I think.
That's what I think too, because Skjala's so mad.
also seems like he's trying to hide something by silencing this. Why would he cut out his tongue for killing someone?
So can I
That's a good
get a
point, too.
history
I was
check
gonna say
from
that. Can I
anyone interested?
Yeah. That's not great. Could I have the help action in history from anybody?
Yeah, I can give you the help.
Oh no, it was worse. It was way worse. Somebody else do it. I got a nat one. On the
I got
last
a 22.
one.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah, use that
beautiful. Audrey, that is phenomenal. You immediately start recalling book information as you're examining the corpse slumped against the wall. And this seems to have all of the fixings of someone from the family of Skjala and Skjaldar and all of them. It is pretty safe to assume this is Buri. But you notice something else. The spear that is pierced right through him, the ornate handle and everything on it, is immediately recognizable as Jotun's Bane, the spear classically used by Skjala throughout all of history. It is Skjala's spear that is pierced through Buri's chest.
So, do you think he killed his dad and then blamed it on the other god? And that's why he took his tongue?
That seems to be what everything's pointing at.
He's such a bastard. Also, and if that happened and he erased memories, that could be something else he was trying to hide by erasing memories.
Skjala
Audrey
hates
doesn't
the
know
gods.
about the erased memories.
Huh?
Yeah,
Audrey doesn't know about the erased memories.
Oh, ignore
But
what
I think
just
Audrey
said.
knows. I
Well,
think
no,
Audrey
but-
knows that Skjala hates the gods because he's like the anti-god god, right?
Well, no, because
You're thinking of Skjaldar.
Oh, I had it backwards. Sorry. Yeah.
because Audrey, when we were talking about why she died, there was people.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, she does know that there's inconsistencies in the histories.
Yeah. So, oh,
I
maybe.
had my mind too set on Althea, sorry.
Yeah, I did too. That's why I was like, oh shoot. So Audrey
like,
doesn't
whose
know
info
for
is whose?
sure.
But Audrey has suspicions.
Audrey has gleaned certain suspicions. Yeah. So she was onto something, and so her library was burned with her inside. And so maybe I'll relay this to the group, like, you know, I always had my suspicions there was something fishy going on with this Skjala character. He, the histories don't match up. I don't know what he did, but I think he's trying to hide something. And that right there was his spear inside his father's chest.
Can someone who, has thumbs, grab that spear?
I'm down. I'm gonna carefully walk over, watching Skjala, I guess. But you said he's like frozen.
Yes. He is noticeably frozen.
All right, I'm gonna try and pull it out.
The spear specifically?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The spear, with a good amount of force, comes out of Buri's chest, and it's very, very obvious that this is Jotun's Bane. This is Skjala's spear. That is what you are holding right now.
I take it back to the group. Oh, yep, this is it, guys. This is Jotun's Bane. I don't know how I should say that.
I think
love
exactly
it.
like that. Yeah.
It seems like these visions are something that unnamed god is trying to show us the history. I guess from what you've explained. So, I think all that's left is the tongue. I think Gunvald will try to, get the tongue out of the grasped frozen hand.
Before you do
It's
that,
easy enough. No, go ahead.
does anybody feel like they could wield Jotun's Bane?
Gunvald would love to. Gunvald really can't, but he would definitely, if nobody else is saying anything, Gunvald would be like, I can.
You want to strap it to my back? Give you a little battering ram?
A little javelin.
This is like a floor spear.
Yeah. No one needs ankles.
Yeah. This is what I've learned. Bite the ankles.
All right. I mean, I'm
Works
down to
every
give it to
time.
Gunvald. Here you go.
All right. So you can tell he's
have your
very
spear,
like, yeah. Go
you have
ahead.
your brand new spear readied as you go to retrieve the tongue. You feel the ice on the hands as you pull the tongue cracks, not in the way that he's trying to move, but in the way that something set in rigor mortis, frozen over, is just cracking as it's getting forcibly moved. And you pull the tongue out, and it is still dried out like the rest of your corpse companion's body has been, and so it's easy enough to pluck from and hold in hand, and nothing seems to move. You seem safe.
Walk over to Caldwell. Do you want to check this out as well?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna put it in his mouth. Or do we have the? Yeah, we have the head. I'm gonna put it in his mouth.
All right. He is looking to you, and at this point, his eyes are following you as you're walking towards him, and he opens his mouth, jaw hanging down, and you plant the tongue in, and it attaches as everything does. As you hear the feminine voice from earlier speaking out to you again throughout all your minds, as she says, "I am sorry, but only so many can be sent to the next world. And these four," as you see the roof above you dissipates, the scene before you dissipate, but the tower stays intact. And there are 4 cages hanging from multiple floors up, each with a body in them. She says, "These 4 are needed. We will do whatever we can to make this afterlife as comfortable as possible for those who must get left behind. Thank you, and I pray that the snows of Dowdheim provide you bliss to stave off the anguish." And you see sort of vortexes in each of the cages pull each of those 4 bodies down. One halfling with darker skin and red hair, one human with silver armor and a spear, one large bugbear with a very fancy red hat, and one human with very ornate, very expensive clothing and things. All of them, bop, 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 gone. And that is where we will end this session.
Oh.
Wow.
Okay.
Beautiful.
I thought you were gonna make me fight me.
That's a fun little side quest.
That was fun. Yeah, that was very fun.
Mhm. Ooh.
Thank you. Thank you all. This was really
Thanks,
fun. It was fun to play this. You guys are fun. I had a good time.
Yeah,
It
this
was
was really fun.
Spooky. It was very spooky and nice.
Very
Yeah.
inky.
Yeah. Now I get to go put on a real costume and
Thank
go
you.
play real pretend.
Ooh.
Real pretend.
Oh yeah.
Real pretend.
Yep.